So let's do this. So if I drew this face right here, I did this, said this is my character. So here is my character. Doesn't have much detail in it, as opposed to if I also just did something. Change this color here, it's bothering me. So as opposed to if I did this character, let's say it's right here. So as opposed to if I did this character, which is going to have way more detail to it. I'm not going to go crazy with it. Let's say alright. The face is a little lopsided. I'm sitting here drawing around my drawing around my tablet. Okay, so we got this character here, and we'll put a little bit more detail into him. Put some shading into him. Now, what does this have to do with 3D modeling? Well, first of all, let's take a look at what this is. I could divide this up into a polygon is a shape. So you can either have 3 shapes, and most people like quads. All of the peeps like quads. When you go to render, and I didn't know this until about, I don't know, maybe a month ago, that even though you always see people do box modeling or modeling with pulling and pushing edges and turning them, and they always talk about you want everything to be clean topology and you want it to be in quads. When it comes time to render them, they get cut in half, so they become triangles. And usually when you are sculpting, it's usually in triangles, and I will show you an example of that later on, just to show you an example. But here is the interesting thing. And if it is more than 4, it's called an n-gon. So that's called an n-gon. These are referred to as quads and tris. Usually tris are triangles. So what is going on with this polygon stuff? What do people mean? Low poly, high poly. So let's take a look at a triangle. It doesn't have to be a perfect triangle. So this is a point. This right here is a point. So think about connect the dots, right? So you are having a connect the dot fest. You got a big old book of connect the dot stuff, and you are connecting the dots. You are connecting what are called points. You're also connecting what are called vertices. The word is vertices. It's a fancy word. Vertices equals points. Points, dots, etc. Right? That's a vertice. Now, we are going to connect these with lines, right? That's what we do. We're connecting these with lines. And the lines are referred to as edges. Edges equals lines. Now, if I went 6 and 7, and then I kind of did like this, so I would connect the edges. And when I close off these edges, they make what is called a face. And a face is just our closed polygon. So 3 things. We just got vertices, we got edges, and we got faces. And let's just put a 5 or whatever there. So these are the 3 things that are going to make up your model. So why am I showing you this? Well, if I were going to just kind of divide these up, and I were going to make lines like this, if I were going to put lines, if I put a point next to, let's go back to this line here, and I'm going to go in red here. If I were to put points all over here, like it was a connect the dots, right? If I were to put a point every time at the edge of all of these little squares, and I do mean all of them, and I wanted to connect these all together so that I can get as many quads, as many 4-sided things as I can see, if I just wanted to connect these. Don't worry, the software will more or less do this for you. Well, it'll do most of it for you. You do have to do some of the work. Now these edges out here, I'm not going to worry about that. But you can see that I have, and then I'd have to probably add a point right there. So I got all of these I have all of these quads, right? As many quads, I got quads. I might have some triangle, like I might have a triangle up here, and I have all of these faces. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's just say I have like 25 faces. So I have 25 polygons. And right now, this is just a flat image. So if we were to graph this out, this would be X and this would be Y. If I'm wrong, my geometry people, my math people, please correct me. I think it's rise over run, right? So if we plotted these out, then we would have, this is the Y coordinate, that's the X coordinate. And they would have some sort of numerical value, right? I'm sure you guys don't worry, this is not a mathy course, but I just want to show you how this fits together. So I have 25 polygons. That's a pretty low poly count. This would be low poly. Now over here, if I zoomed in, let's change this to black. Now, if I wanted to make a point for, say, these lips, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I put in the top lip, or I just kind of put the crease in there. So let's say I had that. So now I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I could just make little points. And the more detail it gets, the more points it gets. And let's say that if I connected all of these, and then I did the eyes, and then I did the eyeball, and then I did all of the dots here, and I just did all these connect to dots. And let's say that got up to, just for the face alone, it got up to maybe 250K, 250,000 polygons. That's pretty high. So that would be high poly. High poly, high point, lots of polygons in the X and Y axis. Now, what makes 3D is this. So not only do you have points within this, so the X and Y, and different pieces of software will have different things, but we also have the third axis, or the third dimension, and we'll call that Z. And so now you would have points that would be here. And so now instead of you just having a square, just making a square like this with a face, so we'll put F for face, right? So we have X and we have Y. Instead, you would have Y, X, X, and Z. So now you would have, let's switch up the colors here for a second. Now you would have faces that make our square, but now you have this other face right here. You have the ability to go backwards and forwards in the other direction, which now you have those shapes. So now you have 3 dimensions. So instead of me drawing a representation of a box on a flat plane in perspective to give you that illusion of depth, I can't turn this to see what's behind there. But here in Blender, you can see that I have, and over here in Blender we have X and Y is back there. X is right here and the Z is up and down. But I can turn this around because if I go into edit mode, then look at that. We got points right there. Points. So you see those points? These are your vertices. These right here are your edges because it's the edge of the shape or the edge of the polygon. These are your edges. And so vertices connect to edges to make faces. And there you go. And so as you can see, if I throw this in X-ray mode, we can see all through it and see that this is a 3D object. So that's a polygon. That's the bigger picture. That's what we're going to dive into. I don't want you to be intimidated by it. I'm going to take my time, which means that I want you to take your time. And we are not going to try and memorize hotkeys. I'm going to press everything. If I instruct you to press a hotkey, I will take my time, tell you which hotkey to press. It does speed up your workflow, but in the beginning, I think it is way more important for you to learn it first. Speed comes with time. Please do not try to rush yourself and speed up anything in the beginning. You're learning, and that's okay. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. I still make mistakes every single day. I still make mistakes when I do 2D art. Every single time that I do something, I make a mistake. So don't feel intimidated. Don't feel bad. I was opening up Blender since for a very long time, shall we say. For years, opening up saying today I'm finally going to learn, and never learned it. I was opening up Blender since I first saw Blender, I think 2.3, whenever that was. So, and never learned how to use it until Blender 2.8, and I think that was probably a 10 to 15 year span. So do not feel bad if you think you didn't get it. I really didn't get it. So you're in good hands. Let's get ready to have some fun.